In reading through the many articles on technology-enhanced project-based learning, there were many things that really stood out to me, and it also left me with many questions. First that stood out to me was that this has been studied as long as 1929 ago, when Whitehead brought to our attention the existence of inert knowledge, or knowledge that can be recalled when specifically prompted but is not used spontaneously, even when relevant in a problem-solving situation. Furthermore, he claimed that in schools, information is particularly likely to be presented in ways that make it inert. Since then, an increasing body of research has shown that the way knowledge is presented to students in school and the kinds of operations they are asked to perform with often result in students knowing something but failing to use it when relevant. This really made me start to think about the way that schools are set up now and the fact that everything that we are doing is inert knowledge in specific subjects and skills-based processes, but is never applied to an application. And if this is never happening, then how are students going to be able to apply this when they become citizens and they reach what everyone is calling the real world? The next thing that really stood out to me is that teachers often wait to have students conduct projects at the end of a unit, and these projects are usually only used as a final assessment. This is something that I definitely am using. I have students do skills-based things, and then, as an assessment, they do a project. So this is really shifting my own pedagogy as I go through this, and I'm already thinking about how I'm going to be applying this project-based learning within my own classroom. To continue from the Designing Project-Enhanced Environments article, however, in a project-enhanced environment, the project begins on the first day of the unit and continues throughout the unit. The project component is used as a driving tool that assists with students' learning and connection-making processes where the students become experts of their particular project piece. This is especially appealing to me that I do want students to be experts in their topics, and if this is not something that is an assessment but yet the process of learning it, this is something that makes me wonder, why am I not already applying this in my own classroom? Following, I always have students do a review, and recalling what students have done is a huge process within my own school. However, in reading the Technology Enhanced Project-Based Learning article, it stated that during the debriefing, students should extend rather than end their thinking about their project work. I completely agree with this. Again, returning to what is known about transfer, deliberate effort needs to be made to see connections of ideas in the application of skills. In reading this article, it also made me think about how we ask students to review their work, but we do not give them specific ways to think about what they have done. And this is where we're failing them. We all know that reviewing and thinking about your thinking is a magnificent process for students, but we are not guiding them in how to think about their thinking. We're not giving them processes to think about what they have learned and how they can apply it. And this is the key piece, thinking how they can apply it, how they found that out, and where it can extend their knowledge. This is what we really need to give to our students. Now, as far as the technology piece of the technology-enhanced problems-based learning, technology is definitely a necessary factor, being that all of our students are technology natives. I love the statement that there are technology natives and technology immigrants. However, my fear in having technology as a necessary process is that the technology natives are introduced to technology as a social piece before they are introduced to technology as an academic piece. And so I wonder if we really are lacking academic instruction in technology, especially at a young age, in preschool and kindergarten, for the students, that they need to learn how to use technology for academics to critically look at things in a kindergarten sense before they learn to use Facebook and Twitter and whatever social media they are coming across before they come to our classrooms. So in reading all of these, this leaves me with a couple questions. Is there still a place for direct or skill-based instruction as well as the application, or should it all be application and investigation? My next question is there a place for traditional subjects such as math, English, or should everything be an integrated subject in these problems? I also wonder, what are forms of assessment? Typically, we right now have written assessments or obtrusive assessments, but there are also ways that students can present projects or bring the community in. So what does this mean for assessment in the future in the classrooms if we start moving towards a problems-based curriculum? I also wonder, how do we bring in the community? Should teachers really be required to assess the looks of advertisement, or should we bring in advertising people from the community in to assess these students, and what is that going to look like in the future? This also makes me wonder, is this an ever-changing question? Now, of course, everything is going to be ever-changing, but does this mean that every teacher is going to every year be designing a completely new question for their students, or is there a way for questions to evolve without extreme planning over every summer?